Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular called meeting of the Community Police Review Commission. It is 3:05, and today is Friday, May 16. We're meeting in the Boards and Commissions room at the Austin City Hall. I'm Ryan Alvarez, the staff liaison, and we have Mia DeMars. She is the backup for the staff liaison, and we have Director of Office Police Oversight, Director Gail McCant, and then we also have our legal counsel, Neil Falgu. All right, let's begin with roll call to affirm a quorum. Commissioners, I'm going to call your name, and if you're present, just raise your hand. Okay, Commissioner Carlos Greaves. Commissioner Christopher Harris. Commissioner Derek Eugene. Commissioner Damaris Jackson. Commissioner John Banaski. Commissioner Kathy Russell. Commissioner Laura Cortez Franco. Commissioner Meca Clutero. Commissioner Ruben de la Paz. And Commissioner Terry Flood. Okay, let the record reflect that Commissioner Damaris Jackson, Commissioner Kathy Russell, Commissioner Meca Clutero are not present. Oh, and Commissioner Carlos Greaves is not present as well. A quorum has been established. We may now proceed with the agenda. We'll now move on to public communication. Do we have no public? Okay. And we don't have anyone who signed up for public communication, so we're going to move on to the next agenda item. Our first action item is the election of the chair and the vice chair. Nominations do not require a second, and we're going to take nominations right now for the first chair. Do we have any nominations for the chair?
I nominate Derek Eugene.
Respectfully decline. Okay.
I respectfully decline.
All right. Commissioner John Banaski, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing no further nominations, we'll move to a vote. All in favor for Commissioner John Banaski for chair, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, with the 6-0 vote, Commissioner John Banaski has been elected for chair. Congratulations. And then we're going to repeat the same process for vice chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Commissioner Cortez Franco.
All right. Commissioner Cortez Franco, do you accept the nomination for vice chair?
I accept.
All right. Seeing no further nominations, we'll move to a vote. All in favor for Commissioner Laura Cortez Franco for vice chair, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. With the 6-0 vote, Commissioner Laura Cortez Franco has been elected for vice chair. Congratulations to you both. All right. Next, we'll move on to the approval of CPRC bylaws. Commission, you have received a draft with staff edits marked in red. Are there any questions or concerns or suggested amendments to the bylaws?
I have some comments on the bylaws. If I may proceed or be recognized.
Sir, would you mind holding my question?
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I have some comments on it. I would like to ask, who wrote this, if that can be asked?
These are the standard bylaws for all city commissions.
And does the law on the, the city code 215, how does that affect that?
So the Austin Police Oversight Act, Chapter 215, says that this commission shall be run according to Chapter 2.1, which is the chapter that provides the procedures for all city boards and commissions. And there's a provision in Chapter 2.1 that says the standard city bylaws are provided. You can make amendments to them, but any changes to these bylaws have to go to the City Council Audit and Finance Committee for approval.
Gotcha. I have a few other questions, if that's okay. If anyone else wants to ask questions, I just don't want to use all the time. I see that there's language in 215 that is different from what's in the standard bylaw, what we were given. One of them is, appointed by city council. How does that change? Because the bylaw says it's appointed by city council, but in 215 it is city manager.
Can you highlight where it says appointed by city council? Commissioner Harris?
It is
Yeah,
in,
remember, sir, that it says at the pleasure of city council.
yeah, that's,
Board is composed of 11 members appointed by the city council.
Yeah, we'll make that change. It didn't get carried over into this version. I apologize for that.
is it possible we could see that version before we vote on it?
Well, I would have to go back to my office and adopt and make a draft, and if y'all want to recess while I do that.
Can we table this until we,
How about we vote on it as is and make any amendments at the next meeting? Is that doable?
How do y'all?
So we just need to change this to city manager.
We can change it to city manager right now and just include that as an amendment.
okay. I also have some additional questions. Sorry to be such a questioner, but, I just want to know. So Article 7, was it subchapter L? That would be the city clerk shall retain agendas, approval minutes, internal review reports, bylaws. The Office of Police Oversight shall retain all the other board documents. The documents are public record under, Government Code 552, TPIA. Is it possible we could change that to, it could just go to the clerk?
So the clerk is the official records keeper for the city, and they maintain the official records. So I would not recommend changing that. And then the Office of Police Oversight is the office or department within the city that liaisons for this commission. So any other records would be maintained by that office.
Well, I just have concerns because, the CPRC, as best I understand, is supposed to be somewhat independent, separate, independent to a degree. And, we're also evaluating the OPO on some level. And, I just want to be able to keep the independence of the CPRC and the OPO as well. I want them to keep their independence as well. So I hate to stall it for so long on the vote. I do see issues with the current version. Obviously, when we have the city manager change amendment, that's, not too hard. But there's other things as well that, yeah. So I guess I'm just going to yield and let you guys vote on it.
So, yeah, I have some amendments I'd like to recommend. And I'm assuming other commissioners might have some amendments too. So what is that process?
If you'd like to make an amendment, then you can make a motion, receive a second, and then if you want to discuss the amendment and then vote on the amendment. And if you would like to ask me any questions about the amendments, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Okay. And then I have some, similar to Commissioner Harris, I have a question about whether this board can have attendance via virtual attendance.
That's not prohibited. If that is something that you all want to do, then you would have to work with your liaison to arrange for that.
Okay. I am familiar that other boards and commissions do allow for commissioners to participate virtually.
You just need to comply with the Open Meetings Act that governs that.
The provision of the Open Meetings Act that allows you to do that is if you are on a body that involves 3 or more counties. Is that the provision that allows that?
Correct.
Okay.
I just want to say that I feel like we really should look at this in more detail before we vote on it, because this obviously this has been a long time coming for the APOA, and this is a pivotal point. And I just don't want to, as a commissioner, I want to be thorough, and I just don't want to get something so quickly and immediately vote on it if it's something that's so pivotal. And I just can't. I just want to say.
That's a decision of the commission, however you all want to handle it.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I yield.
So maybe a good process would be, does anyone have any general questions, and then we come back and offer amendments?
I have general questions. My first general question is, I've received correspondence that we can't communicate outside of this forum. I don't know how that's going to allow us to facilitate any type of meetings if we're only able to meet once a month. And so how do we do our work in a deliberate fashion, or review anything, or begin that process? I'm having trouble understanding the process, because what was articulated to me initially and what you guys are saying now is totally different. And it feels like right now we're existing to satisfy what the voters voted for, but we're not actually being allowed to do the work. And I say that because it feels like we're being slow walked, and then we're also being hamstrung in the fact that we are not getting the deliverables or even a schedule on how that's going to look. And so those are the answers that I'm looking for, so that we know how we're going to move forward, because we've done all the prerequisites, but when do we actually get to do the work? And I believe one of my colleagues said they were trying to get some information and were told that they were not allowed to. So what is that process for them to do that? So those are the questions that I have. I don't feel like we're being deliberate enough, because as I said in that email, it's been a few years.
Yeah, so Commissioner Flood, to your question about conducting work outside of this meeting, the Texas Open Meetings Act requires that any deliberations of a quorum of the body take place in an open meeting.
Understood, but I'm not saying
so
deliberations. I'm saying communications in general.
Yes, the Texas Open Meetings Act considers communications to be deliberations.
So even through email, which is official documents that the taxpayers can request through FOIA, we cannot communicate with each other outside of this meeting.
A quorum of the members of this body cannot have deliberations outside of a posted open
Commissioner,
meeting.
is the email you're referring to where it said, don't reply all?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a common practice in governmental bodies. You don't reply all because then that you're creating a quorum.
I understand.
If you want to send me an email,
Okay.
just you and I could communicate via email, but you can't. It's not a good practice to reply.
So
all.
I cannot reply, okay, I will not reply all, but what is the limit of the number of people I can reply to?
A quorum of this body is 6 individuals.
So long as I communicate with less than 6 individuals, we can communicate.
Correct. What you have to be aware of is, let's say you communicate with Commissioner Cortez Franco, and then Commissioner Cortez Franco forwards that to Commissioner De La Paz, who forwards it to Commissioner Eugene, who forwards it to Commissioner. Then you've established a quorum.
Understood. And the reason I'm asking is because I was under the impression that the volume of work would be to a level where we may have 2 different working bodies looking at different cases so that we can be so that we can adjudicate or do our work without having such a backlog. And so if that is the case, how do we set that up to be in compliance with the Open Meetings Act, but also to communicate amongst each other in a deliberate way?
Yes, so we've provided, in the bylaws, we have provided a mechanism for the commission to establish working groups.
Okay.
Which are groups smaller than a quorum, which would not require posting of an agenda. And so once you've adopted bylaws, you'll be able to form working groups.
Okay. And then at that time, this is my last question, then will we be able to get access and start doing the actual work? Because that's what I'm having trouble understanding is, once we establish these procedures, we voted on our leadership, when will we actually start doing the work?
Yes, so today's meeting is to establish yourselves as a working body. And so once we've established you as a working body, you'll be able to start your work.
Okay. And then you guys will send out correspondence on how that process is going to go, or?
We will, sir.
Okay, that's the question that I haven't gotten the answers to. So now I understand, and thank you for your time.
Can you move the mic closer?
Sorry.
Make sure that it's in front of you when you're speaking into it.
Okay, so first of all, I want to apologize. That means I'm on, right? Yeah. Okay. I want to apologize for being late. My understanding is that we already have selected the chair and vice chair, and we're in the process of trying to determine our bylaws, right? And from what I heard from Commissioner Harris, I want to second that in that the fact that the bylaws will clearly establish what we can or cannot do. But for many people, reading this would be a first introduction for many citizens to what is this commission about. And I think that it is having, 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 more lines up front detailing a little more about what the commission is about is very important. One of the things I did as we were preparing for this, I looked at what some of the other commissions in Austin did, and it turns out that, many of you may not know, but the bylaws of them are virtually identical in many respects, right? When I looked at, for instance, I compared it to the Public Safety Commission, which caught my attention because I think they made some comments about taking 2 years to get this started, and I was wondering what authority they have, and if they can summon the Office of Police Oversight. It's important for us to understand what they do and maybe overlap. And what I saw is basically virtually 90% of their bylaws are identical, except for the title, the name, which is clear, and where the biggest difference we can make is making sure Article 2 is clearly specified. And like Commissioner Harris was saying, ensure that anybody who picks this up and reads this understands what's the purpose of this commission. Interestingly enough, one last thing is that the Board of Public Safety Commission, they established a working group to go and review their bylaws because they consider it to be antiquated and low and whatever has been. So with that in mind, I want to make sure that if we start out on the right foot and we detail and spend the time to, it's just electrons, just to put a couple of lines in here to make sure we follow as best as possible. And I already drafted an initial proposal of what I think should be in there, but I'd like the rest of you to take a look at it and see. But essentially, it's the same spirit of what you're saying, which we're going to put in here something that no citizen of Austin reading this will have a doubt what the duties and purpose and responsibilities of this commission are. So.
If I can get a second, I'll motion to table this, and we can come back to it when we have more, or we can vote on it. It's up to you. I mean, the chair and the co-chair are the ones that.
Well, we have 3 hours, right? I mean, I think we could probably just, if you want, I could just pass and show you what I did. Essentially, what I read here, the fact that it just mentioned Section 215.1, to be honest, anybody picking this up have to go and find some other document. Good practice in many of these things to make things as self-contained as possible. And this is easy here. It means just add in 5 or 6 more lines so you know what 215-1 is. And more importantly, I think Section 215-4 of the City Code further defines the duties of the Community Police Review Commission Board. And I think that we want to make sure that clearly is stated in our Article 2 purpose and duties. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the APO. Well, I say the APOA. What I'm talking about is City Code 215.
Yeah.
As it regards to the CPRC, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff in there that is not.
There's a copy of it if you need it.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff in here that's not in the bylaws, and that's more or less what I'm saying. Is I'm seeing the bylaws, and it seems kind of not reflective of City Code 215 with regards to the CPRC.
Actually,
Harris.
I think it'd be a great idea if we copied this and passed it out to everybody, all the commissioners. Can we get copies of this, Ryan? What Carlos just wrote and just share with everybody? And then let's circle back to this and keep moving down. And if you guys don't mind, we'll table this for the moment and then come back to it.
Table.
Just table adding this to
Well, no
Section
one made a motion yet to amend it, so it's not anything to table yet.
I'll second the motion. And I guess we can vote on it and so.
Is anybody seconded?
Commissioners, if I may, I think our goal for you today is to establish yourself as a commission so that you can begin working on the tasks that the voters have laid upon your desk. If you want to make substantial changes to what we have put in front of you in terms of the bylaws, I would recommend that you establish these bylaws so that we can get you working as a commission. And then if you want to make changes to the bylaws, then establish a working group to make recommendations so that the public is aware of the recommendations that you are bringing forward so that we can present those, we can present a draft and the backup for your next meeting or whenever you wish to amend the bylaws.
I have a question. If we pass this, as it is with the amendments we talked about, and it goes to, I forget what the board is that approves it, does it get approved by city council later on down the road and that changes 215? Is that how that works?
No. So chapter 215 of city code cannot be, will not be changed by council. There are specific rules that are in place under the charter for council to make any changes to that act because it was a voter-approved initiative. What you're doing today is establishing an agreement among yourselves about how you will operate as a commission. Commissioner Graves, before you arrived, I had mentioned that there are standard bylaws that every board and commission uses. These are reflective of those standard bylaws. Any substantial amendments to these bylaws have to go to a committee of the council to be approved, and that's the Audit and Finance Committee. And that's a small, it's not the entire council, it's a smaller group of council members. And so if you make any substantial changes to these, they have to be approved by that committee of council. But really what we're trying to do today is just get you formed as a commission so that we can start moving forward on some of this work. There are other commissions that make changes to their bylaws, and that's certainly something that you all are able to do. We want to do that in a transparent way for the public, and so establishing a working group that makes thorough recommended changes that we can then post as backup to a meeting agenda will give the public notice of what it is you're proposing.
Has the public seen these bylaws yet?
I believe these are posted as backup. Are they not?
No, they're not. Neither is your agenda.
Yeah, this is what,
They have not been posted on there, but I do have copies that I can provide after the meeting to the public.
but if I may intercede, I totally understand what you're saying, and I came here prepared thinking that the purpose of this meeting was precisely to go over all those items that were in red in this bylaws, and before we left here, we would have clearly identified that. And so I came prepared for that. I'm not sure what approval there is. First of all, I'd say I strongly object to what's there purposely, partly because I thought it was weak is a weak term to use, you know. And it's not only vague, it barely mentions the like for instance 2.14.4, which I consider is a very important part of that, is not even mentioned in there. So I don't see why with the few things we had on the agenda to do today, one of them was to decide on what language to put on there. That's certainly the thing. I think that's my expectations to walk out of here clearly knowing that the commission that I signed up to be on has been clearly defined. And what's on here right now does not satisfy that. By the way, I seem to, I guess, assume that what you're saying is that this already has been approved. And I thought, how can that be, right? That somebody just wrote, you took the standard thing, great, changed a few things. In Article 1, the name, perfect. Article 2 is basically all we have to do here is decide what to put in there. And those 2 lines that are there are not sufficient. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who strongly feels that way. And I just want to think, what's to stop us from all 6 or 7 of us that are here today reading this and deciding, we have the quorum, that yeah. And when you read what I have here, essentially I pretty much copied the statute. So instead of saying reference 215, let's write what 215 says is there. And like I said, as a citizen, save me time. I want to go and read this. I want to see what does this commission do. I can see it there, not just have to go back and find 215 or 214 or whatever. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know if Robert's rule of engagement, if I can start talking, or do I have to ask to be acknowledged? May I be acknowledged?
You be acknowledged. Kathy, go ahead.
I hear your concern. I agree with, I think you bring up a very good point that in the essence of transparency and of accountability to the public, it would be an improvement to have something a little bit more defined for someone that isn't not up to speed on all the codes. To be able to read that in a little more plain language. At the same time, I understand the point that you have made, that I have to say on this commission, I'm of the opinion that I think it's something we should pursue, but I am leaning towards his recommendation that we work on forming our commission, and then that's something we can make a priority.
Let me make a suggestion. Why don't we add a hyperlink on Article 2 to exactly what he's talking about, so it's on there, and when it's printed, anybody who wants to see it online can hit the hyperlink and opens up right to the document, the legal terms. That way it satisfies both things, and we don't necessarily have to focus on a work group.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
If I may be recognized.
Yes, sir. Chair recognizes.
Because I had the same exact concerns as Commissioner Graves, and was prepared to make amendments here today. But I think a better process is the process that staff has recommended. And also, I don't see what was presented as a ceiling or a limitation, but a springboard for us to begin with and then make it our own document. So I'm definitely in favor of adopting it as is today, forming a working group to come up with, gather input from everybody on their amendments and then come back and amend it at a future meeting. We get to the same objective, it's just a different process.
Permission to be recognized?
Please, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with the point that you made, but I would like to ask the attorney. We established it today. We're operating under the rules as is, as of today, until those changes are made and then passed through council, right?
When you adopt these bylaws, if you adopt these bylaws
Right.
today, they will be the bylaws of the commission until you make any changes.
And then once we make those changes, they have to go to the council for approval.
They have to go to the council audit and finance
Right.
committee for approval.
And what is the time frame for that?
I'm not able to provide you with that right now.
So that's the question that has me at a crossroads, because I'm okay with adopting it as is, but if we do the process, create the board, the working group, and present it at our next meeting, we submit it, vote on it, submit it, and it goes to council, and we don't see it again for another 6 months to a year, we really didn't do anything, because if it's that much of a delay, if we don't have so I would rather vote on the way that we wanted the first time and get it right, as opposed to voting on something to get this process started, but still operating under the rules or regulations that we don't feel are suitable for the committee. Does that make sense?
I understand your point. If you make changes, code requires that if you make changes to the standard bylaws, they have to go to the audit and finance committee for approval. So whether you make those changes today or sometime in the future, they regardless have to go to the audit and finance committee for approval.
Can I be
Okay.
recognized?
And my follow-up to that is, can you describe to me, after we vote on this, because that's the part that I'm missing, what are the next steps? What do we do to actually do the work? What will happen next? Because that's the part that is not being communicated to me or the rest of the committee. And so how do we intentionally, transparently, and deliberately start doing our work once we approve on this? Are we then given laptop? What happens next? That's my question.
Yes, sir. you asked the question about laptops. You will be provided laptops. You will be establishing your agenda in terms of what it is that the work that you want to do. So in your next meeting, you will identify what those agenda items will look like in terms of the work. So you have the ability to make a request for any type of, if you're wanting to review something, you can ask for a review from the Office of Police Oversight, from the Austin Police Department. You will determine what those agenda items will look like.
So how will we know what to request? That's what I'm saying. I was under the impression that that information would come to us through the process of OPO, just as you guys work with the internal police review agency at the same time. So all three of us would be getting the same files at the same time.
Yeah, so let me recommend that you look at the provisions that are outlined in the Oversight Act, which guides you in terms of what the work looks like and would help you identify what you would be requesting in terms of agenda items.
So we have to request what we want to review.
You are the commission, and you'll make those determinations in terms of what items you would like to see on your agenda.
I understand, but that's not answering my question. So how does the process work as far as?
Let me give you an example. For
Please.
example, if you said that you wanted to review a case, a particular case, we would ensure that you had all the materials that you needed in order to review that case. The Office of Police Oversight and APD, Internal Affairs, whatever case that is, we would ensure that you had whatever it was that you needed to review that case to make whatever determinations or recommendations you are wanting to make.
But how do we know what case?
That's my question. How can I ask for something if I don't know what to ask for?
Yeah. Well, the Internal Affairs Division, if there's a case that they want to bring before you, they'll do that. At this time, we have not identified a case. This is your first meeting. The goal is to establish the commission, and once the commission is established as a board, then we'll start to have those communications with you in terms of cases that you want to review. There may be things that the public bring to you that they would like you to be looking at. You would make those part of your agenda items as you get communications from the community. And then we would ensure, as the liaison of this commission, that you are provided all the materials that you need to be successful and to do the work.
I think that's the part of the process I'm not understanding. So I have to wait for the public to ask me to find a case?
No. Absolutely not, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. How do I know what cases? Because that's not what our initial conversations. I didn't understand that. That's how the process is going to look.
Can we come back to the bylaws?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can I be recognized to make a motion?
Chair recognizes Derek.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the bylaws as is, subject to forming a working group of 3 to 6 members to review amendments.
All right. Commissioner Russell's second.
Is discussion?
It's been moved and seconded. Now we go to discussion.
So discussion, we're going to be where we start again. Bear in mind that, taking into consideration that it's been over 2 years since it started, there is a clear view about it's taking longer than it should. I think it's, to me personally, I'm actually disappointed that with the urgency that we show here about trying to actually start doing something, we can't get Article 2, purpose and duties, established before we leave here with the strongest possible bylaws to start with. Because the question, for instance, that you're asking, yes, it starts out by making sure the bylaws are as strong as possible, and then I love what you're doing, because if you don't understand, sometimes I work in other boards in which people are afraid of asking questions. That's that's not going to be this board. I'm glad to hear that. But once again, the problem with starting out weak, and by weak meaning what was defined here, and once again, it's a sad thing that I can't get in this meeting for all my fellow commissioners to at least read the proposed amendments or changes I want, and I can't get the attorney to look at it to see that I've not done anything but to copy almost verbatim what is the city code. And that's all we are asking, to make sure we put city code on there. So I don't want to leave here today without having accomplished something significant, like at least walk out with a decent Article 2 in our bylaws, which is where everything starts with the bylaws. So, yeah.
Permission to be recognized?
Go ahead.
A question. So if we were to do what you said, those bylaws, correct, would still have to be, the changes would still have to be approved by the council. And that's going to delay the entire process. Am I correct?
If you want to make a change to the purpose and duties, that is, the red portions that are highlighted here are the portions that are allowed to be filled in. They're not part of the standard language.
Okay, so we can make that change without delaying the process?
Yes.
Okay.
May I be recognized?
That gives me clarification.
Yeah, I honestly think, based on everything we've talked about, this references it. Commissioner Greaves, what he wrote kind of ties it all together. I have no problem accepting it as is. Anybody want to second that?
If I may be recognized.
Yes, everybody had a
Yes.
chance to at least look at it?
So I think by now everyone's gotten a chance to read the suggested proposed amendments, and I agree with Commissioner Greaves that if we're not going to set the bylaws now, it's going to be tabled over for next month. And so we can only meet, we can only talk about this when we're in the meeting. So if we're not going to do it now, we're eventually going to have to get to it. We should start on the right foot. That's part of my discussion about, right now the motion is to vote on the bylaws. And if we need to go line by line today, we still have 2 hours to get it done so we can get out of here with the working bylaws. I think that is a more efficient route to take rather than just going what we have right now. There's a lot of questions and concerns, especially I'm assuming the public is also going to have a lot of questions reading this. That's my 2 cents. I got a chance to read the additional, possible amendment to Article 2, purpose and duties, or legal counsel said that this is something we can change.
But it's not the case that if we form a working group, we would be able to have dialogue and discussion and get more input and get everyone's input. Because I have changes to Article 2 as well that I want to propose, but I want to do it in a more systematic fashion than, his proposal, my proposal, or proposal to have a link. We have a working group, we work it out, bring back to this body consistent, coordinated changes.
If I may be recognized. This is what this meeting is for. Exactly. So we're not able to have this discussion online or individually. This is where we come in, we get a chance to look at the bylaws, break it down. If not, we're going to do the exact same thing next meeting. We either approve them and maybe get those changes approved through all the hoops that we might have to jump through. I don't know. Or right now, we get a chance to go line by line. Everybody has some edits in mind. We have the time to go line by line. If it takes voting, calling a motion to every line, every section, approved or not, added amendments or not, I think that is the more efficient way to do.
May I have permission?
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Peter.
The part that I need clarification on is do I understand correctly that we are not a formed commission until we approve these? Are we not able to move forward until we approve these?
Correct. You need bylaws in order to operate as a commission.
Okay, that's what I thought.
May I be recognized?
Yes.
So maybe a compromise here. What if we include something in here that says, some type of severability clause that says where it conflicts with City Code 215, that's null and void, more or less, for lack of a better word. Where, I was thinking of what if we add something in there that says, in common language, adopt the provisions of 215, with it really, wherever it relates to the CPRC, I forget what the number is. And then we have a severability clause in there. So if there are conflicts with the bylaws with 215 in any way, it's struck, and 215 is what we go by, because that's what was voted on, Yeah, that's it.
Permission to be recognized.
Chair recognizes Mr. Flood.
This is why I asked a lot of questions. So what I got from this was all the things in red we can decide on today, and then we can adopt, change, whatever, and still form a board. In the meantime, we can also establish a working group for the things that are not in red to make those changes and send it up to City Council. So we will be able to be a formal board and make the changes that we're allowed to make here and now, while also being able to make amendments, present it to the public, let the council decide on it, and make those changes at the same time. I think that would be a good resolution, if I understand that capability correctly.
Yeah, that's the way I understand. Is that correct, Neil? We can make the amendments or the changes to everything in red and then do the working group
Correct.
to review
Yes.
other things that are not quite so clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So is anybody going to offer a motion to amend my motion?
I'll make a motion to amend your motion. I'd like to offer a motion to take care of the business in red today, form a working group, and make the necessary edits and present it to council as appropriate. I also would like to put a time frame on that, no longer than 3 months.
All right. Who'd like to be on the working group?
Well, we gotta
You
get a second.
gotta get a second.
Second.
All right, motion carried.
It's not carried yet. We got to discuss and then vote.
So it could be
And you
recognized.
need to vote before you start
Right.
a motion for a working group.
So, Chair, you restate the motion, you may call to a vote, either yays or hands, and then we tally the votes.
So we're going to vote on adopting or making changes and everything in red, and then voting to adopt everything. And then can I get a vote for that first? Anyone vote, raise your hand. To make changes.
Changes in red.
Okay, we have all. All right, and then second motion would be to set up a working group. Anybody else want to volunteer to be on the working group? Okay, so Mr. Flood and Mr. Eugene and Mr. Greaves. All right, and the distinguished gentleman. All right, so we've gone ahead and approved. Are we approved with what Carlos Greaves has submitted, or do we need to make some changes to that as well?
Before, I had a question, sorry. You had some things that you wanted to change.
Right.
I would be dying to hear what changes you wanted to do now. That's what,
What
if those
I
are red.
wanted to do was just include from 215 for D, 4, 5, and 6. in the purpose. So if you're looking at 215.4D, 4, 5, and 6.
Commissioners, may I recommend that if you're going to, I think what you're trying to do is provide a more
Expansive,
fulsome, expansive Article 2.
right.
So if we can read into the record exactly what it is that you want it to say.
Yeah.
So the way that would work is someone make a motion to have Article 2 read in a specific way and read that into the record so that we can then go back and have it on the record so that we can get that incorporated into the document.
I'll make a motion to read Section 215 and the requisite sections identified by distinguished gentlemen into the record.
So what we need is what you want the actual text
Right,
in Article 2 to read as.
I'll read it. And you still have yours, Commissioner Graves? Yeah. Okay. So it would be the purpose of the board is to A, fulfill the policy of Section 215-1 of the City Code by supporting a robust system of civilian oversight of the Austin Police Department. B, advise the police chief, the director of the Office of Police Oversight, the city manager, and the city council on the effectiveness and appropriateness of the department's policies and procedures concerning complaints of police officer misconduct, police officer training, use of force by police officers, community relations, and any other activities of the department. C, address other department activities of public concern. D, assess the effectiveness of the Office of Police Oversight and this ordinance and suggest improvements. And E, emphasize transparency, encourages accountability of the officer, accountability of officer misconduct, encourages accountability for officer misconduct, and facilitates enactment of reforms that systematically reduce police brutality and misconduct.
I second the motion.
All right, all in favor? Okay, we have unanimous. Motion carries.
For clarification, this, what you just read, that's for Article 2?
Correct.
So that's going to be the way Article 2 will be read? Okay.
And did you catch that change I made to this?
That was the purpose of that.
All right,
And do we want to read into the record Mr. Greaves' proposal?
I
You already
included it in
did?
mine.
Okay.
all right, so can we move on to Article 3 membership? And I believe we've already had one amendment approved, just to state city council be changed to city manager. All right, so
Correct. In Article 3A, has there been a motion, a second, and
Yes.
a vote to change city council to city manager?
yes, I believe so, but if let's do it again just to make sure.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right, anybody want to make the motion?
For clarification, though, this is not going to change us forming the board today.
No.
No.
Okay.
So moved. Change, A, the board is composed of 11 members appointed by the city council to 11 members appointed by the city manager.
All right, do we hear a second?
I second the motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous with one withhold, one abstention. So a member serves at the pleasure of the city council. B, so I'll approve. No questions. C, board members serve for a term of 4 years.
We should, yes, so B, the city council should also be changed to city manager. So if we can get a motion second.
Pleasing at city council be fine.
May I be recognized?
Yes, sir.
What if we just change it to, well, it's going to serve at the pleasure of the city manager, so that's basically what that would say, more or less, if we change that. What about what if we just change it to serve the community? No? Okay.
Permission to be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Flood.
I'm looking at Article 3, C. Are we okay with Article 3C as far as the term? Because I remember that there was no term limit. So do we want to establish 4 years as the term limit and leave it as is? Or do we want to discuss that?
Terms are provided for in City Code Chapter 2.1.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to change it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I went through, and this is pretty much, except for Article 1 and 2, almost a bulletproof, except there's also on Article 8, where there's committees are only working groups. Some of them have committees, some of them only have working groups. Clearly ours, when we get to there, we'll see it, but otherwise, it's almost already by city code, almost all these things are said, yeah.
As Neil, can we just move to adopt everything else that's in here? I'm assuming everybody else has read everything, or do we want to go line by line?
We still would like a vote on Article 3B.
Permission to be
changing
recognized?
council to manager.
Yes.
I second the motion to change the language of Article 3 membership, item B, a member serves at the pleasure of the city manager. I second the motion.
All right. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous? Okay. Now, do we need to read through every line, or can we move forward to the next objectionable line where somebody wants to change this? I think Article 7 under meetings, we have Article 7, item D. The board shall meet monthly is the next red line. And I think we can make any amendments to that if you think we need to.
So I guess a motion to approve everything up to Article 7. Right?
Yep, 7D, up to 7C. Yes.
Well, I thought we moved that we were going to amend only the things in red. And
Right,
that's what we're working
that's
on
what we're
doing now.
doing.
Everything else, except, and these were non-substantive things, really. The city council, those are
Correct.
really non-substantive.
Right, that's why I was asking, can we go ahead and move forward and accept everything up to item
Well, it's
Article
already-
7?
It's already accepted. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
so can we jump ahead then to item D of Article 7? The board shall meet monthly.
Permission to be recognized?
Mr. Flood?
Can we change that to at least monthly, but as needed?
City Code requires you to meet at least quarterly. Most commissions have in their bylaws that they meet monthly. If they have no business to conduct monthly, then they just formally cancel their monthly meeting. So the way we have it drafted here is intended to provide you with flexibility in scheduling.
All right, what about for virtual meetings? Is that included?
Yeah, this would not affect your
doesn't affect-
ability to meet virtually.
Okay. Any suggestions, amendments, recommendations, commissioners? Should we keep it as monthly?
I think we keep it.
So as long as we don't form a quorum, we can still do our work, as long as we don't have a,
If you decide to form working groups,
Right.
which are smaller than a quorum, then you can meet as often as you like
Okay.
as a working group.
okay.
All right. Ms. Eugene?
I think monthly is fine.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
And the next red line is L of the same Article 7. The next red line is Article L of Article 7, where it says the Office of Police Oversight shall retain all other board documents. Documents are public records under Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 552. I don't see any reason to change that. That's boilerplate, and you just added it for this board, correct, or commission, correct?
Correct, that's a legal
All right,
requirement.
so we can't change anything there, so all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
unanimous, let's move forward. All right,
And just to clarify, that's to keep the language as is?
correct.
Okay.
I do have a question for the attorney.
I resemble that remark.
It's letter O in Article 7. Could you give me clarification on letter O, Article 7? It reads,
That's a standard term of boards and commissions. If you wish to remove it, then you could remove it.
okay, I'm just trying to understand, is it saying that the public cannot speak at our meetings?
No, that's not what it says, no. So you will have different type of agenda items as they come before you. Sometimes there might be just an item where the Office of Police Oversight is coming to you to provide information, and there's no action that's needed from you. It's just an opportunity for the staff to provide you information as a group, so that we're complying with open meetings requirements, and that's the only thing that addresses.
Let's move forward to Article 8, committees and working groups. Carlos and I believe a couple other commissioners have a couple questions on this because it doesn't clearly state it. But under working groups, item A, the board can determine the size of a working group, but the number of board members serving on the working group must be less than the quorum, which is 6. So should we just assume 2 to 5 maximum? Okay. I don't think we need to make an addendum for that. It's kind of stated there. What questions do you have, Carlos?
I have a question. I noticed as I was going through multiple other committees, some of them had committee and others only had working groups, right? And I do understand, one of them requires you have to follow make sure that you have a quorum, so that you have to follow the open laws rules. But could you explain to us why it was decided that we should not mess with committees and we should just have working groups? I just want to understand.
Sure, I appreciate the question. So our recommendation is if you want to meet in groups smaller than the full commission, that you do it as working groups.
Yes.
Because that provides you with more flexibility, and there are fewer legal requirements that you would have to go through in order to meet and take action.
Permission to be recognized.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Flood.
Under working groups, letter D, staff support will not be provided for working groups. So my question is, if we have video footage we need to review or anything else, is that saying we will not be provided that opportunity unless we are full quorum?
It does not. If there is material that you are reviewing as your support team, we will provide you with that material. We'll provide you with the support and the material you needed during that working group meeting.
Okay, but that's not what it reads, right? Because it says it will not.
No staff.
What that generally refers to is the process of organizing you. So they will provide you with the information you need to do your work, but in terms of like scheduling your meetings and doing that kind of work.
Okay, so the materials will be available, just not the people.
Materials will be available to you under city code. Yes, city code requires that we provide you with the materials.
And will you, as the lawyer, be available for a working group?
Probably not, unless there is some legal issue that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Permission to be recognized.
Yes, Mr. Eugene.
And Commissioner Flood, that's a good point to make. And in the working group, I would want to clarify that further going forward, as well as a couple other things. So, for instance, Article 7G with a quorum. If a quorum for a meeting does not convene within 1/2 hour of posted meeting time, the meeting may not be held. Oh, no, H. To be effective, a board action must be adopted by an affirmative vote of the number of members necessary to provide a quorum. So that means no matter who's in attendance or how many we have, at least 6 have to vote.
Correct. So let's say a quorum of this body is 6 members.
Right.
So you need 6 members even to just call the meeting to order. So if you have 6 members who show up, you call the meeting to order, and you don't get any more members, you still need 6 votes in order to take action on an item.
Yeah, and I would just want to clarify that it was 6. It would be 6 votes, whether
That's correct.
8 people are there or 6 people are there. 6
Yes,
votes.
yes.
Oh, can I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Greaves.
One suggestion would be that, by the way, going back to the working group, if you're in a working group and you recognize there's something that you need staff, then that's something worth bringing up to the bigger group, and then we resolve it there. That could be a workaround. If you see that, I wish I had some staff, something, then it means it's something that's probably beyond the working group. Just bring it up to the full team.
I have a question for Neil. Can we do working groups on MS Teams or Zoom so we can have everybody together? Does that matter?
For the working groups, you can conduct them however you wish to conduct them.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Thank you.
Now, sorry, I would add that if you're forming a working group to review a case, there might be some technical limitations.
What would the technical limitations be if it's internal affairs reports and whatnot?
Correct, like just in terms of the presentation of the materials.
Okay, so how do we do that then if we are doing this on a working group?
Well, we'll have to work with you to figure that out.
Okay, all right.
Permission to be recognized.
Yes, Mr. Flood.
I'm going to go way back to Article 3G. And it's because we had some resignations already. And so, since we have had resignations, is City Council going to backfill those individuals in accordance with Article 3G?
At this time, we have no plan to backfill that one position. There's been one resignation. You still have a working group and still can make quorum, so at this time, there's no plans to refill that position.
Okay, so if we lose another, will you revisit that, or how does that work? I just don't want us
Absolutely, we'll
Okay.
revisit it.
Who gets to revisit that? Can we direct that, or how does that work?
Well, the ordinance says that you can have 11 persons on a board. We would have, as a office, we would go through the process again that we initially went through, that you all went through, to fill that position.
All right. Based on that, do we need to make any changes to the board for Article 3A then, since the board is composed of 11 members and where it's only 10, or should we leave it as 11
Leave it as
to keep
11.
flexibility?
Yeah, we should leave it at 11 because 11 is what's in the ordinance. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's why I was just making sure we covered it.
So the code does says 11, so we could go back through the process, and the manager would need to appoint an 11th person to the
Yeah, that's what
commission.
I was asking. So because initially we had the 11 plus 2 extra.
So if we wanted to, we could adopt a resolution asking the city manager to go ahead and appoint another person. Could we do that?
Yeah, you could do that.
I guess I need some clarification. I thought that originally there were 11 and there were 4 alternates, and we lost a few. I thought there may still be 1 extra alternate, right? Or so at present there are only 10 of us
There are only 10 of you.
and no alternatives, no alternates.
No alternates.
That's why I was asking. I thought that G would kick in by default because they submitted their resignation, and then there's a 30-day period that takes place, and then that the council should appoint a new person.
The city manager would appoint
Right.
a new person.
Okay, yeah, I keep getting manager and council because it's still on the, but yeah. But so that should be the step that we should go into next, right? Is that the city manager should,
If you choose to, yes.
so how do we make that decision?
We'd have to adopt a resolution inviting or asking the city manager to appoint another person.
Okay, so is our board, well, as soon as the board's formed, can we do that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
My understanding is you file a motion.
Well, yeah, but the board's not formed because we're still reviewing the document. So as soon as we're done, then we'll do that motion.
I mean, if you want to pass a resolution, you can, but the city manager could appoint a 11th person to the board.
All right, let's finish this, then let's go back and we'll make that motion, okay? Article 10, amendment of bylaws. The only thing that we don't have on here is the month, date, and year, which is today,
Yeah,
May
we'll
16th.
go ahead and fill all that in.
Yeah.
If you're done making amendments, then we just need a motion, second, and vote to adopt the bylaws as amended.
All right, we're going to make the motion right now for, what, Mr. Eugene?
So moved, adopt the bylaws as amended.
I second the motion.
Second. All right, all in favor? Unanimous? Motion carries.
We did it.
And is there anyone who wants to kick in for Article 3G to,
If I may.
Okay,
So we can't take that up.
If I might, yeah, that's not posted
It's gotta
on
be
the
posted.
agenda, so we'll have to wait on that. If you want to put it on the next agenda, staff can do that for you.
yes,
So-
can we add that to the next? Brian, thank you.
I have a question of procedure. So how does the document get officially edited? Or someone in staff will go and add the amendments we did and do that?
Yes, the staff liaison will.
Thank you.
All right, what's next on our agenda? Seem to be lost here.
I think it's adopting a schedule.
Yes, our next item in the proposed meeting schedule is for the remainder of 2025. So in your packets, you should have 2 schedules. We have the following dates on hold. We have one meeting location, which is going to be here at the City of Austin, well, the Austin City Hall, here in the Boards and Commissions room. And then our other meeting location that we have proposed is the City of Austin Permitting and Development Center. And that's going to be going northwest off of where the Highland Mall area is at.
So these are two separate proposals?
These
for
are two separate,
schedules?
yes.
Okay, so we either adopt one and not do the other?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's schedule and location.
And the time difference as well.
Yeah,
Okay, I motion that we, for the location, I live north, so I motion that we establish the location at the northwest location near Highland Mall.
all right. Anyone second that?
A second?
Okay. All in favor?
Do we have to vote on, we ask questions first?
Go ahead.
My question is, can we adopt the meeting location but keep the time for another location? Like, could we do a start time of 3:00 p.m. at the Highland Mall location? Is that feasible? Or do we have to start at 12? I meant 1 o'clock.
So when I was working with the assistant, they are only available at this time and date from 12:30 to 1 p.m.
These are the established dates
Okay,
and times.
I thought they were interchangeable. That's why
These
I
are the
wanted to wait
established
before
dates
I
and
voted.
times.
So, okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right.
Yes, I have a question. Now I'm unclear what we're deciding. Do I have a choice of this or this? Is
Yes.
that- I see. Okay. Then I stand by my motion.
All right. We've already established that, and we've had a motion and seconded. All in favor?
Any opposed?
Any opposed? 3 abstain?
I'm abstaining.
All right. What about you, Mr. LaBeouf? All right.
We don't have enough votes.
Don't have a majority. All right. So,
Still gotta vote on the other location too, right?
yeah. So, who wants to vote at 2:30 or for the meetings here at City Hall?
I move to adopt the scheduled meeting at City Hall at 2:30 on Friday.
Well, 3 o'clock.
I second the motion.
All right. All in favor? You flip-flop. No.
This speaks to why we need 11 people. Okay, we gotta decide.
All right. Are there any, Ryan, is there any alternative as far as times for the Northwest? Let me ask a question. How many, for all the commissioners, which location's easier to get to? Just north?
Neither of these locations is convenient for me. So,
Can I ask Ryan, is there a parking situation at the other location?
Yes, they have a garage. They have a garage, and it's free parking for the commissioners, for City of Austin staff, as well as the community who attends.
Okay.
If I may be recognized.
Go.
So I've been to the alternative, the City of Austin Permitting Development Center. It's a pretty open parking space. It's not downtown. That's why I originally voted for this location. I know the days are kind of funky. Again, as long as 6 of us meet, we're a quorum, so we don't all have to be present. We also have the option of going online, virtually meeting. I've been to both locations. I think the north location is more open spacing. It's right next to the Highland campus. So there's tons of parking compared to this parking garage, which is still accessible, which is why I voted for this one. That's just I don't know if anybody else has any other input or discussions regarding any of the locations.
Permission to be recognized.
Mr. Flood?
Since I'm not one of the 2 commissioners that are actually leading this, and I can work virtually, I'm open to any location, anywhere.
Okay. Ms. Peters? Ms. Russell, sorry.
While I would prefer that we meet Northwest, this is important to me, and I will go wherever you want me to go. So, if City Hall is where the majority is, I'll probably flip-flop.
So what's the rules of bringing back a motion that's been
we still in discussion? I guess I wanted to add a few things then. If we're still in discussion.
Well, I
guess-
thought we. Right. Okay, go ahead.
Because the issue is not only location, but there are different times.
Times, right.
And just to make things argument clearer, I would have happily go north, but 1 o'clock, I prefer 3 o'clock. And so I wonder if anybody else is more tied to the time than the location. And this is an attempt to look for consensus, see if we can get a majority here. I was wondering, the most of you prefer 1 o'clock? Is that
No, the location was more of the draw for me. I can go at, right now I'm in between employment, so I can go anywhere do any time that you need.
Yeah, I appreciate your effort to bring consensus here, because it was more the time for me and the consistency of dates.
Yeah.
So I know it's looks like third Friday.
Yeah.
And so that's what.
That's it. It is what it is, and the time is what. Anyway, so I'm not sure if with that in mind we have to go through and maybe a second pass of vote in one or the other. But,
So, I would like to point out that since it's virtual, it's a little more flexible because I want to make it, because I know one of you two have to be here regardless. So if she says it's easier for her there, which one's easier for you?
They're coming, it's only 6 miles difference.
Okay.
I'm coming from Cedar Park, so it doesn't matter.
I know where I'm voting. Okay.
Good man.
Yeah, so,
I move that we adopt the schedule on Fridays, every third Friday at the City Hall at 2:30.
and any seconds?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Works for me.
And we can still do virtual better here.
Mr. Burns.
All right. Motion carries 6-2,
You, oh, 6? Oh.
because you didn't raise your hand.
There's something else, okay.
If I may be recognized.
Yes, ma'am.
So just wanted to clarify for our Friday meetings, the chair and vice chair, we have to be present in person? Okay, at least one of us.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I think that's something we can work with. Great.
All right. Next item on the agenda.
Shouldn't be.
Let's see. That was the last agenda item. The next would just be the adjournment of the meeting.
That we recognize
Mr. Eugene.
to congratulate all of our commissioners and especially our chair and vice chair on a great meeting and well-executed process. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Eugene.
Yes, thank you, Chair and Vice Chair. I think we made it through the forming and storming stage. We'll be performing in a couple years. No worries.
If I may, I'd like to request any agenda items be emailed to the entire commission, all commissioners. So if you have any things you'd like to add to the agenda for the next meeting, please do so.
Well, if you want to place an item on the agenda, you'll need to send that to staff. Sending it to all commission members will be improper communication.
That will be a quorum.
As Mr. Neal says.
Can I be recognized real fast?
Yes, Mr. Harris.
Is it possible we could get whatever the
The minutes?
bylaws we just created, if we could put that, make that accessible to the public as soon as practical? Is
Of
that
course.
possible?
Yeah, everything's going to be sent and it's going to be uploaded into the Boards and Commissions webpage.
Gotcha.
Mm,
Just
And
be
if
sure you
there's-
guys have everything you need to make the amendments as required, right? Good.
Yes, sir.
So now that we are formed, can I now understand how we're going to work? Yeah, I'm still trying to understand. What's our next step from here?
So we would ask that you send your next agenda items to the liaison for your next meeting. So
Okay.
if that is something you'd like to be, briefed on, or in terms of,
No, not the agenda items. I'm speaking more to the actual work of, now that we're a formed commission, how do we go about getting access to the material and what we're going to review and all those things that I tabled for efficiency earlier that we wanted to get to.
That's not really an item that's posted for this meeting, so we can, if that's an item that you would like to be briefed on, I would recommend that as an agenda item for the next meeting. But since it hasn't been posted as an item for discussion at this meeting, it would be improper to discuss
Okay,
at this
so
time.
I should send that to the liaison that I want to discuss how we're supposed to operate and get materials and everything like that.
Yes,
Okay.
whatever agenda item you want, you can send to the liaison, and then the liaison will work with the chair to develop the agenda.
Sounds good.
Commissioner Flood, can I work with you on that?
Absolutely.
All right, if there are no questions, or
Yeah,
everybody would like to adjourn, do we need to vote on that?
yeah, you didn't take a motion
All
to
right,
adjourn the
motion
meeting.
to adjourn the meeting? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.